heard this, reverberate in the discussion too much. Maybe, as Sergeant put it well, I think, we need to structure the inputs. And we need some kind of a start, and we need some kind of structuring, but we shouldn't overdo it. And I think with asking for an EU key, a possible EU key, what we want the civil society to not leave it to a chance and political will of some top officials, whether they want to engage with us, or whether they want to engage civil society at all. And this is what kind of is what we are asking as an EU key. Some kind of a reassurance, some kind of a structuring that we will be listened, that there can be an entrance for us as civil society to bring in our views. But then what we need to see, case by case, country by country, how much is it going to be the structure. So it's not, I think, the question of whether we structure, whether we have civil dialogue, but what is the degree of structuring it to, related to a particular country, particular, even local context, etc. So I think here we had a really good discussion and kind of like, I guess, a consensus. We need structures, but not to structure them. Maybe EU keys is too much, but political pressure can be very useful, especially in some cases of individual governments. I think it wasn't Amr from Bosnia, but I remember Venera from Kosovo mentioned it, Arisa mentioned it for Albania, and I hope that the colleagues, especially from the national desk present here, we have some still representatives here, will reflect that in the upcoming progress report, and I'm sure you will follow that. On the funding level, we talked about funding level, but I'm actually very happy that we also talked about more this policy level. One of the main recommendations is that we, from our side, we want to see coherence in the sense, what do you benchmark and then you should fund, so we have effect, so we have strategy. And actually this has been reflected, I think, because we have very much heard about, it's not just about the structure, we should focus on the impact, on the effect of civil dialogue, why we're doing it, and what is its effect. And in terms of funding of the civil society facility, as Melinko has mentioned, many have mentioned, yeah, it looks like the doors are open, the Commission is listening to the people. Mr. Engstrom, who's head of the department who's managing the civil society facility, seemed to be finally listening to us after a couple of years of complaints, not just to us, but generally to what local civil society is asking about what is the support that we need. We have also heard very interesting announcement of the future of the civil society, which in a way to what we have now operationalized on the ground sounds maybe even revolutionary and maybe even too good to be true. So what they're going to plan for in 2011. And some of us and some of you were actually at the meeting last week in Zadar, in Croatia, where the Commission had a meeting with the stakeholders involved in the taxa projects. There were people I see here around who are different. And there was a lot of discussion, and one of the main discussions, the Commission actually asked for input on from governments, from delegations, from civil society, from networks, regional, European, and basically what do you need, how do you see the next phase, etc. And one of the main message was we need to support small organizations, smaller funding, basically what we heard today. So it looks like they listen, but what I'm trying to get at, it's for us what is very important on the ground. So this is very good. But then we need acts. What will be important, I think, in the future, that it's good that they listen, but we need to see that then in operation. So it will be very important, and I think we as a network will definitely monitor how the Commission will further evolve this idea, kind of maybe even breakthrough idea from the type of support that we have been used to so far. So no re-granting, and now we're talking about re-granting. Small grants, we haven't heard about possibility of small grants. So very important announcement, but let's be a bit skeptical or see how this will be operationalized. And lastly, about the regional cooperation, the last panel, I think we have seen there a lot of the commonalities, but again, Sergeant made a good point, and I think Lydia as well. It's good to identify what is actually our common interest. And actually, I think that one of the main messages and conclusions, and with this I would also conclude, for the regional cooperation, this is something we wanted to open a discussion on here, because the next activity, as I mentioned several times today, would be a workshop with national offices in the countries that exist for cooperation with civil society, and civil society represent talking about the concrete things that can be done on both national level and regional level, to have concrete progress, to have concrete things improved, to have better impact on the development and functioning of civil dialogue. What is the essence of regional cooperation from the last panel that I said? I think is what Lydia said. She said, not the missing link, but it's more of a relinking than having the missing link. So it's basically relinking and reestablishing and not reinventing and doing new links, but basically finding synergies of already existing practices, exchange of information, knowledge, if you would like, etc., exchange on individual, institutional, and country level. I would like at this point just invite if somebody else from you would like to add to something, a comment, suggestion. Simon, there? We can have a coffee.
A representative of a donor sitting in headquarters in London, we often get bogged down in this sort of terminology of civil society. We talk about weak and fragmented and urban-based, and we talk about, oh, this whole civil society needs their capacity building. I come to a meeting like this, and I realise Tanya and the network are really smart. My capacity has been built. It's enabled me to understand all the issues that you face, so that in turn those can actually respond better to your needs and the needs of your country. So I found it a very, very useful workshop. Very useful.
Thank you. Thank you. If I may add, what will the network do with all this? And I think it was imposed by this discussion that we had. The first thing is that we will inform our governments about it and try to involve them much more in this dialogue, because this is something they don't know about. And I think
we'll send them the clips.
Not only the clips, but I really think that this is a very good reason to talk to them in different levels, in different ways. That's one thing. The second thing is I think we should approach with the results of this discussion the country delegations, the European Commission, which are somehow the missing link also, or the weak link in this whole communication. And I think that they would respond to that. You know how to do it. You just list who was present and they look at it differently. I think these are the two things that the network will have to concentrate in each individual country. Naturally, the member organizations will do that. They will inform. This is what we do regularly with civil society organizations, all those they reach with their activities. And if I may say, it's one of the rare networks which really does what the name says, civil society development. Usually networks do different things, but this is one thing. And I'm looking forward to the next question from someone: when will we meet next time? Because in a very short period of time, this has become kind of a small, I won't say tradition, but habit, a good habit, and I think we should continue that. And I have nothing more to say, but thank you for your active participation.
Thank you. You're welcome to some more coffee and to stay around a bit for your linking.
Sorry, I thank Tanya very much, but her colleague that supported the whole thing also, I would like to thank you.